we'll start in our comfortable seated position. Taking a few deep breaths in through our nose, breathe out from our mouths. Get rid of all the junk, the tension. Exhale our expectations, judgment, sense of competition. And we'll seal our lips, inhaling in and out through our nose. Filling up deep, deep, deep into our bellies. Good. And now let's inhale, lifting our hands up high. We can even bring those shoulders up into our ears. And then as we exhale, we'll just drop them away, lengthening in the neck, opening our fingers. Being careful not to arch in our spine as we do this, just because we want to reach high. We don't want to jack up our body as we do this. Wiggle those fingers, and now inhale, we'll reach one hand a little bit higher than the other. And exhale it down, and as we inhale, we'll reach the other hand up. And exhale down, inhaling, reaching, exhaling down, inhaling up, exhaling down. Good. And now let's just continue that circle with our arms. We'll open up that chest. We're asking for a big hug. Good. And now, as we bring those arms forward, we'll round like we're holding a big ball out in front of us. Good. Inhale, we'll lift. Shoulders down. As we exhale, they go back. Open up that chest. And then back around. Big ball out in front. Good. And back up to the top. Good. And now from here, we're just going to bring those hands back behind us, pointing our fingers towards the front of our mat, pulling the shoulders back. We'll just sort of walk our way back, pull those shoulders back, lift the heart. And we can lift the chin and just kind of let that head hang back a little bit. Good. And then inhale, we'll come up. We can even stretch those fingers on our mats as we come forward. We're just going to go all the way down into a forward fold. Good. Walking ourselves back. Let's do that one more time. We'll put those hands back behind us. Pull the shoulders back. Lift the heart. Good. And then slowly we'll come back up and we'll fold forward. Good. From here, let's walk our hands around to the right, bringing our chest over that right knee. Good. And then all the way around to the left. and then back to the center. And then slowly we'll walk ourselves up, uncross those legs, bring our knees together, feet will find the floor out in front of us. Just give ourselves a bit of a wiggle here. And what we want to do is begin to attach our tummies to those upper thighs, lifting our heart. And then slowly we'll rock back, lift our feet, we'll find ourselves in boat. Good. And then lowering those feet, coming back on up. And then again, keeping our back straight as we lift our feet, squeezing the knees and thighs together. Good. And feet come back down. Give ourselves a wiggle. And now let's do this one more time, finding our boat. And now from here, let's lift our hands up nice and high. And now we'll bring both of our hands over to the right. And then up to the center. And then over to the left. Good. Back up to the center. And now slowly we'll lower ourselves. Low back finds the ground. Our legs lengthen, not quite to the floor. Holding here. And then releasing down to our mats. Bring those knees into our chest. Roll up into our ball. Good. And then let's bring those knees just over our hips. So we've got a 90-degree and our knees 90 in our hips. Hands will reach up to the sky. And now start to feel that low back press into our mats. Tail into the mat. And then we're going to extend our right leg out just far enough before we begin to arch. So if we have a bit of a tight hip, we're going to compensate in our back. We don't want that to happen. So this is where we're at. That's where we're at. If we can go a little bit lower. Good. And then back to the top. And then the left leg, same thing. Go only as far as your body will allow. And back. Good. And then right hand reaches up in front of us. Good. And back to the center. And then the left hand up over the head. And back. Good. And now let's extend the right hand and the left foot. And back to the center. And of course, the other side, left hand, right foot. And back. Beautiful job. Let's bring those knees in, hold our feet, little happy baby action here. Good. Releasing those feet. And we'll begin to rock forward and backward until we can get all the way back up to our butts. We'll swing those feet around and we'll find ourselves in a tabletop. Hands are underneath of our shoulders. Knees are under our hips. Good. Tucking the toes behind us. Getting that core nice and strong. We're just going to press and lift those knees up off of the floor. And lower them down. Good. One more time. Lift those knees. Good. And now let's press all the way back to a downward facing dog. Wiggle it out if we need. Find our pose. Good. Settle into our downward facing dog, lengthening the spine, pulling those shoulders back, pressing into our feet and our hands, lifting our hips up and away, softening in the neck and in the shoulders. Good. And then inhaling, we'll come forward again, bring those knees almost to the floor, and then press back. And we'll do that a couple more times. Inhale, we'll come forward, nice long spine. And then exhale, we press back. Inhale, we come forward. Knees barely hover and press back. Okay, let's do that one more time just for fun. Coming on forward, holding here, super strong, pressing back. Very good. Downward facing dog. Let's lift up that right leg and wiggle it around in our hip socket if we like. And then we find our three-legged dog, pressing that heel back behind us. Hips are flat. Spine is long. Good. And then we'll bring that knee into our chest, hover in plank, and then press ourselves back just that one time. Now we're going to come on forward and we're going to kick it out to the left. Good. And now let's lift our left hand. Open ourselves up to the side. And coming on back. Unwinding three-legged dog. Good. Kicking ourselves in the butt, bringing that foot forward to the outside of our hands for a little bit of a wide lunge. Good. Settle into that lunge. Feel our hips begin to open. Now we're going to take our right hand and the right hand will come off and then the elbow will come down and touch toward that mat. If we can't get all the way down there, of course it's okay. And then as we inhale, lift it up to the sky. And then exhale, elbow comes down. Inhale, hand comes up high. Exhale, down. Inhaling high. Let's do that one more time. Exhaling down. Inhaling high. And now that right hand will find its spot to the inside of that right foot. We're going to turn the left heel down and we'll lift up the left hand. Good. And back down to our lunge. Nice and long here. Stepping back, three-legged dog. Wiggle it out if we need. Let's kick ourselves in the bum. Open up that hip nice and high. Good. And back to our downward facing dog. Good. Let's inhale forward into a plank. Exhale, we'll lower down. Good. All the way down to our bellies. Softening the feet. Hands are underneath of our shoulders. When we're ready, we'll scoop that chest forward and we'll lift ourselves up into a baby cobra. And exhale down. While we're here on the ground, let's take that right hand and stick it out to the side. We'll press that shoulder into our mat. Our left hand can find the floor. And we'll just turn backwards. Opening ourselves up to the left, but we're rolling back onto that right shoulder. Good. And back to the center. And now let's even it out. Left hand goes out, pressing that left shoulder, and then we'll turn back, opening to the right. Good. And back to the center. Very good. All righty. From here, arms are out in front of us. Tummies and hips are pressing into our mats. Pulling the shoulders back just a little bit to keep that neck nice and long. And then we're just going to inhale and lift up the right hand. Keeping really strong in this low back and in our low tummy. And exhale, we'll come down. Inhale, we'll lift the left hand. And back down. And now let's lift up the right leg without lifting the hip up. We're just lifting the leg. So we're pressing that hip bone into our mat and lowering down. And now the left foot comes up. And we lower back down. Very good. Let's bring those hands back behind us. If we can, let's clasp the hands behind. If not, we're just going to reach back into a chest expansion. Good. From here, if you would like, you can try and lift your chest up off of the floor. If you don't like, please don't. Good. Releasing those hands. Let's place them underneath of our shoulders again, tucking the toes, pressing back, finding our downward facing dog. Let's walk our hands backwards into our forward fold, bending the knees if we need, hanging the head. Good. Bending those knees, rolling as we rise all the way up, nice and high. And then exhale, we'll just go back from whence we came, all the way down to our forward fold. Good. We'll walk our way out to our downward facing dog. Pedal it out if we need. And we're going to work over onto the other side. So lifting up that left leg. We can wiggle ourselves around in the hip if we like. And then find that three-legged dog, pressing the heel back behind us, lengthening from our fingers all the way back to our heel. Good. And then inhale, let's bring that knee into our chest. Hover and then pressing back. Good. Bringing that knee in, and we're just going to kick it out to the right. And then let's lift up that right hand. Opening up to the sky. Good. And back down. We unwind, three-legged dog. Good. And then let's step that foot forward to the outside of that left hand. Find our lunge. We'll take that left hand up off of the floor and we'll touch the elbow down toward our mat. And then inhale, let's lift that hand up to the sky. And then exhale, we'll come down. And inhale up. Exhale, we lower. And inhale, we reach. Exhaling down. Last time, inhaling, reach. Good, and now let's find that hand back down to the floor. We'll turn the right foot so the heel is down to the floor, and we'll lift up that right hand. Good, and slowly we'll come back down. stepping back, three-legged dog, wiggle it out. And then we'll find our downward facing dog. Inhale forward into our plank. Exhale, let's lower down. And now we get a choice. We can do baby cobra again, or if we would like, we can come up to upward facing dog. Good, but then we're going to lower again all the way back down to our tummies. Good, and now this time, we're going to go into goalpost arms. So bent elbows out to our sides. We're gonna keep that goalpost arm. Right arm will stay on the floor. We're gonna try and bring that right shoulder down toward the mat, but since we're kinked at a weird angle, may not get all the way down, but that's okay. As we roll back, just like we did before, it will feel different. Hopefully it's not terrible. If we ever get to the pain region, we know the difference between work and pain. Make sure that we're not hitting that pain area. And back to the center. And then left arm, goal post, direct the shoulder down toward the ground. And we'll just slowly roll backwards. Good, and back to the center. Beautiful job. Let's extend those arms out in front of us. And now, again, we'll start our funny little swimming exercise. So now we're just gonna go with our right arm and our left foot, lifting the arm and the leg without lifting the hip. We want so badly to lift high, so we want to open up in that hip. And then exhale, we'll come down. And then left hand, right foot. Good, and back down. Let's do that one more time each side. Right hand, left foot, reaching with the fingers, reaching with the toes, and down. And then the other side, left hand, right foot. Should feel that hip bone pressing into our mats. Our tummy is pressing into the mat. Good. Exhale, let's come down. Beautiful job. Let's bring those arms back behind us. Chest expansion. We can even just reach for those toes back behind us. If we want, we can clasp the hands. It's not necessary. Do what our body wants to do. If we would like, we can lift. And then exhale, let's come back down. Bring our hands underneath of our shoulders, tuck our toes, and press back for downward facing dog. Pedal it out. Walking our hands backwards, finding our fold. Good. Inhale, let's lift all the way up to the sky. And exhale, Tadasana. Hands to our sides, pulling the shoulders back. Tucking the tail. Glutes are strong. Feet are pressing into the mat. Neck is lengthening. And then from here, let's just inhale nice and high. Exhale down to our fold. And now let's bend our knees so that our hands can find the mat. Our neck is soft. Good. We're going to keep that left knee bended really, really, really deeply. We're going to begin to lengthen this right side. So we're going to twist just a little bit, lifting that right hip up toward the sky. Right hand will follow. And back down to our fold. And the other side, so bending very deeply in that right side, and then lengthening in the left. Left fingers come up toward the sky. And back down. Bending the knees, rolling our way up one more time. And then again, let's do a chest expansion so we can pull those shoulders back, hold the ball behind us. We can clasp the hands. We can try and just hold our elbows as we pull back those shoulders. This gives us a little bit different sensation in the chest. Nice long neck, soft shoulders. Whew, opening up that chest. And then from here, if we're happy here, please stay here. Whichever version of chest expansion we have, we're just going to bend the knees, hinge at the hips, and we'll fold forward, but we're going to bring those arms up toward the sky. So with our elbows, the elbows go up to the sky. We're holding the ball. We're just going to keep lifting that ball. If we've clasped our hands, our fists will find the sky. And then we'll gently release those arms. Let them hang. Bending the knees, hands find the floor again. We'll walk our way out to a downward facing dog. Now I'd like to do that little flow again one more time to each side, but we'll just be moving a little bit more quickly. Now that we kind of are in tune with the routine, we should be able to flow through that pretty easily. So inhale, let's come forward, bring those knees toward the mat, hover ever so slightly. And back. And coming on forward. And pressing back. Let's do that one more time. Inhale forward, nice strong core, and press back. Let's lift up that right leg. Bringing that knee into our chest, hovering forward and pressing back. And now bringing that knee in, and we'll kick it out to the left. Left hand comes up high and back down. Stepping back, three-legged dog. And then stepping forward into our lunge to the outside of our hand. Good. Releasing the right hand, left, or the right elbow comes down to the floor. And then we inhale up. Exhale down. 2. Inhale up. Exhale, we come down. Inhale up. 2 more times. Exhaling down. Inhaling, reaching. Don't forget our lunge. Exhale last time. Inhale up. And then the hand finds the floor. The heel behind us finds the floor as we lift up the left hand. Beautiful job. And back down to our lunge. Let's step back, three-legged dog. We're actually going to add a little bit something in here. We're going to kick ourselves in the butt, open up the hip. And then if we feel comfortable, let's flip our dog. We're just going to lower that right foot down and flip ourselves up over toward the sky. And then slowly back to our three-legged dog. And down to our down dog. Going through our simple vinyasa, inhale forward. Exhale, let's lower down. Inhale to a back bend. Tuck the toes, downward facing dog. Good. Walking ourselves backwards to our fold. Let's do it. Flat back, long legs here. Exhale, we fold. Inhale, all the way high. And then exhale, let's fold again. Walking our hands out to our down dog. Let's move on to the left side. So left foot comes out. Good. Bringing the knee into our chest. Pressing back. And then bringing that knee into the chest, and then we'll turn to the right. Kick that left foot out there, lifting up the right hand. And back. Unwind, three-legged dog. And stepping forward into our lunge. Releasing the hand, elbow comes down. One. Inhaling up. Exhale down. And up. And down. 3. And up. 2 more. And up. Last one. Touching down. Inhaling high. And then we'll just lower that hand to the floor, turning the back heel, and we'll lift up that right hand, opening ourselves up to the right. Hand back down. Stepping back, three-legged dog. Good, let's kick ourselves in the bum, open ourselves up. And now if we would like to stay here, please stay here. If we would want to try and flip that dog, let's flip that baby. Good, and back to our three-legged dog. Back to our down dog. Pedal it out if we need. Inhale, let's come forward. Exhale, all the way down to our bellies. Soften the feet. Arms back behind us, pulling the shoulders back, lifting the chest. And exhaling down. Hands to our mats under our shoulders, tucking the toes, pressing back, downward facing dog. Good. And now, we're going to take a couple of steps with our feet, couple of steps with our hands, couple of steps with our feet, and with our hands, find ourselves in the center of our mat. Forward folding. Pedal the knees. Wiggle it a little bit. And then when we're ready, we're eyes up nice and high. Exhale to Tadasana. Take a few breaths here. Good. And now, we're going to ramp this baby up just a little bit. Just kidding. We're going to work on a little bit of a balance. It's kind of tough, but it doesn't hurt to challenge ourselves every once in a while, right? So we're going to put all of our weight onto our right leg. We want to find something in front of us that's not moving that we can focus on, just past our fingers. And we're going to begin to lift that left foot back behind us like we want to kick ourselves in the butt. Now we're going to give ourselves a thumbs up with that left hand and reach back and find the foot. Squeeze those legs together. Pull the foot in toward the butt. This is stage 1. Find our balance. So we're pulling that shoulder back. We're getting the quad. We're working on our balance. We're nice and strong in that hip, in our tummy. We're reaching out with that right hand. Now we're going to begin to kick into that left hand with our left foot to open up a little bit further, a little bit further, a little bit further. And then we're going to tip forward ever so gently. Now, if we fall out of the pose, it's okay. If we wiggle a little bit, it's totally okay. If we need to use the wall, absolutely okay. And then we'll gently tip back up, release the foot, wiggle it out. So proud of you. So, so proud of you. All right. And we have another side. Everything goes onto that left leg. Just begin to grow out of that left leg, out of the hip, up to the top of the head. We can bring that right foot back, kick ourselves in the bum, and now give ourselves a thumbs up as we reach back. We don't want to reach thumb down. Thumb up. Hold our toe, hold our ankle. Bring those thighs together. Stay in stage one for as long as you need. When we're ready, begin to kick into that right hand, pulling the shoulder back. Tight, tight tummy. Reaching forward, looking at our focal point, and then we can begin to tilt forward. Whoop. And then gently, let's release. Whew. Hands come up nice and high. Little back bend here. To say, good job. And then exhale, let's fold forward. Whew. Let's walk our feet heel toe, a little bit wider. We'll slowly bend those knees, lower our butts nice and low. Chest lifts. Hands come together at our hearts. Good. And then slowly we'll come back up. Hands can find the floor again in our forward fold, bringing our feet back underneath of our hips. And then let's find our downward facing dog. Inhale forward, bring those knees, hover over our mats just a little bit, and press back. Inhale, let's come forward. And press back. Good. Inhale, let's come forward. Let's rest those knees onto our mats. Soften the feet. Hips can come all the way back into our child's pose. From here, let's walk our hands over to one side. Good. And over to the other side. and back to the center. And now we're just going to walk our hands backwards just a little bit so that we're lifting our chests, our hips are, or we're sitting on our heels, our hips are over our heels. Good. And now, as we exhale, we're just going to lower down and extend one arm out in front. Inhale, we'll come back up. Exhale to the other side, reaching nice and long. Good. And back up. Let's do that one more time to each side. Reaching long. And back up. Last one, reaching long. Good, and back up. And now both arms, let's come forward. Our hips will find their way over the top of our knees. And we'll find ourselves in puppy dog pose or melting heart. Letting the chest sink down. Our head can rest on our mats if we like, or we can place our chin on our mats. And then now let's slowly come back to our child's pose. And let's swish our feet over to one side. We'll help ourselves up to seated. Feet will come out in front of us. Good. Very nice. Feet are out in front of us, and now the knees can be apart just a little bit. Hands will come back behind us as we did before, pulling the shoulders back, lifting our hearts. If this is where we're at and this feels good, please stay there. If you would like, we can challenge ourselves by lifting our hips up into reverse tabletop. And now let's lower back down. Stretch out those fingers. Do that one more time. When we're ready, pressing into our hands and our feet, lifting our hips, opening up the chest and the shoulders. Let our head hang ever so slightly. And then lowering back down. Bringing those butts all the way back by our hands. Finding ourselves in staff pose. Legs can come together. We're nice and tall in our torso. Exhale, let's fold forward from Good. Releasing the hands, releasing our heads. Let's roll our way up. Good. Let's bend our knees, curl up into our ball. We'll rock backwards onto our backs. We can give ourselves our little yogi massage here. And then nice, tight, tight, tight little egg here. Good. And then we're going to bring our left foot back down to the floor. We're going to cross our right foot over the top of that left knee and really open up that right knee. If you need to, just guide with your hand, not shoving and forcing, guiding that knee away from our body. We can rest our shoulders and our head onto our mat. Stay here for just a little bit. Just open up that hip. And then arms can come out to our sides into a T. We're going to take both of our legs off to the left. Keeping that cross in the legs. And keeping that right knee moving away from our body. Little twist, little hip opener. If you would like, you can also do cactus arms here. That feels good. And slowly we'll unwind. Both knees bend, come into our little ball. We'll move on over to the other side so the right foot will find its spot on the mat. Left foot will find its spot over the right knee. And again, just to guide, open up that hip away from our body, lengthening on the outside of the hip and the front of the hip. We'll stay here for several breaths. And now keeping that left hip open, we're going to take both legs over to the right. Arms again can come out to our sides in a T or to our cactus arms. We can even turn our gaze in the opposite direction to the left. And slowly we'll come back, unwind, find our center, roll up again. Let's bring those feet up to the sky. Hands can come behind the thighs, flexing the feet. We'll just guide those legs in toward us just a bit. And release. And then again, guide and release. One more time. Guide them in. And then reaching those fingers up to the sky. We can wiggle and rotate around. And then exhale. We'll release and find our Shavasana. Finding a position that works for us today. We can do bound angle with our legs. We can just crisscross applesauce. Our legs can come out long. We can even bend our knees if that feels the best. What we want to do is just find a spot that feels good and we can stay there and be still. We close our eyes. We soften our jaw and relax our tongue. We quiet inside our mind. Allow the thoughts to just come and go. Don't hover on them. And we can visualize our breath coming in through our nose, down into our body, and it will spread all of this wonderful energy all throughout our bodies. As we exhale, we let go of the tension and the darkness. And we deepen our breath. We wiggle our fingers and our toes. We'll slowly come back into our space. We bring awareness to our body, we listen to it, and we give it what it's asking for right now. A little wiggle or a stretch. And when it is time, we'll roll over onto our side. We'll help ourselves up to seated. Inhale, we lift our hands up to the sky and bringing them together at the top. We exhale them down to our hearts with gratitude, giving thanks to us for all of the gifts that we just gave ourselves. I thank you so much for joining me this morning, for allowing me to help you through your practice. I hope that we feel even just a little bit better than when we started. Let's keep this feeling of peace, keep this connection that we have built with ourselves as we go throughout our days, whatever our day has in store for us. If we find that we are becoming tense or overwhelmed, just close our eyes, take a couple of big, deep breaths, have a mini shavasana. Hopefully we can reset. I wish you all a very, very happy day. Great rest of your week. The light and the divine in me recognizes and respects the light and the divine in each of you. And when we are together, we are one. Namaste.